Imagine a world where you couldn't instantly share your thoughts with the world. A time when your meals remained a mystery to your followers. That's right, we're going back in time, to a period before the advent of social media, when expressions were personal and connections were real. Life before social media. It was a time when communication meant more than a text or an emoji. It was about handwritten letters, long phone calls, and face-to-face conversations. Thoughts and feelings were shared in person, not broadcasted to an audience of followers. Your voice echoed in the ears of your loved ones, not lost in the white noise of a crowded digital sphere. Consider relationships too. They were built on shared experiences and genuine interactions, not on likes and comments. Friends were those you could touch, hug, and sit with, not just faces on a screen. Love was expressed through actions, not through a heart-shaped icon. You felt the warmth of a real smile, not the cold glare of a device's screen. And then there was self-expression. Before social media, it was not about curating a perfect life for the world to see. It was about living, experiencing, and growing. It was about the joy of discovery, not the pressure of exhibition. You were defined by your actions and your character, not by the number of followers or the quality of your selfie. Lastly, let's not forget the sense of privacy that existed. Personal spaces were truly personal. Your life was not an open book for the world to read and judge. Your moments of joy, your heartaches, your victories, your struggles, they were yours to share or keep to yourself. Yes, the world indeed was a different place before social media entered our lives. But remember, this is not about nostalgia or lamenting the past. It's about understanding the changes we've embraced, the values we've lost or gained, and the balance we need to strike in this digital age. The world indeed was a different place before social media entered our lives. Now, let's hear from some of those who experienced this world without social media. Picture this, an era defined by face-to-face interactions, handwritten letters, and long-distance phone calls. An era where the daily news came from the morning paper, or the 6 o'clock news, and catching up with old friends involved a personal visit or a phone call instead of a quick scroll through a news feed. First up, we have John, who fondly recalls his teenage years in the late 70s. He shares how friendships were built on shared experiences and real-time interactions. You had to make an effort to maintain relationships, he says, and that effort made them more meaningful. Next, we hear from Linda, a woman in her 60s, reminiscing about her college days. There was a sense of anticipation and excitement in waiting for a letter from a loved one, she muses. In today's world of instant messaging, that thrill is somewhat lost. Then there's Mike, who grew up in the 80s and 90s. He talks about the pros of the pre-social media era, emphasizing the value of privacy and the luxury of disconnecting from the world. There was a certain peace in being unreachable sometimes, he reflects. However, our voices from the past also acknowledge the benefits of today's digital revolution. Sarah, who was a young adult in the 90s, appreciates the ease of staying connected with family and friends across the globe. Social media has made the world smaller in a good way, she admits. And lastly, we have Robert, a man in his 70s, who marvels at the speed of information today. In my time, news traveled slow. Today, it's instant. That's powerful, he states, recognizing the impact of social media on our access to information. These stories give us a glimpse into a different era, a time when life was less shared, but perhaps more lived. Now, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Think back to the times when the internet was a luxury, not a necessity, when conversations were face-to-face, not face-to-screen, when memories were captured by our minds, not our devices. These were the times before the dawn of social media, before our lives were digitally intertwined. Ponder upon how life was without the constant pings of notifications, without the need to capture every moment, without the relentless pursuit of likes, shares, and followers. Remember the tranquility of those simpler times when our self-worth wasn't measured by our online popularity. Now shift your thoughts to the present. How has social media shaped your relationships? Has it brought you closer to people miles away but distanced you from those right next to you? Has it made you more connected yet, paradoxically, more isolated? Reflect on how social media has influenced your self-image. Have you ever found yourself comparing your life to the picture-perfect images you see online? Have you ever felt the pressure to present an idealized version of yourself to the world? These are the questions that we must ask ourselves to understand the profound impact of social media on our self-perception. Consider too how social media has affected your overall quality of life. Has it given you a platform to express yourself, to learn, to grow? Or has it consumed your time, invaded your privacy, and added to your stress? Yes, social media has revolutionized our world in many ways. It has made communication easier, information more accessible, and has given a voice to the voiceless. But it's also worth recognizing the challenges it presents, the anxieties it stirs, the insecurities it fuels. Whether you're a digital native or a digital immigrant, the impact of social media on our lives is undeniable. It's a tool, a platform, a virtual world that mirrors our own. And like any other tool, its impact depends on how we use it, not the tool itself. So let's use it wisely, consciously, and responsibly. The question now is, how do we strike a balance? In this modern, hyper-connected world, finding the right equilibrium between our digital and physical lives is essential. It's not about completely renouncing the conveniences and connections that social media offers, but rather about learning to use these platforms in a way that enriches our lives without allowing them to overtake our reality. Imagine social media as a tool, much like a hammer or a paintbrush. It can be used to create beautiful art or build sturdy structures, but if misused, it can also cause harm. The key is to become the master of this tool, rather than letting it master us. One way to achieve this balance is by setting boundaries. Deciding when and how often to engage with social media is a personal choice and can be tailored to fit your lifestyle. Perhaps it's limiting your scrolling to certain hours of the day, or dedicating specific days for digital detox. Remember, it's okay to switch off sometimes. The world will continue spinning and your notifications will still be there when you return. Another approach is to curate your feed consciously. Social media can be a great source of inspiration and learning if we choose to follow accounts that uplift us, share insightful content, and foster positive discussion. It's about quality over quantity. Lastly, don't forget the importance of face-to-face interaction. There's a certain magic in direct human connection that no online platform can replicate. Spend time with your loved ones. Engage in your hobbies. Explore the world around you. Let these real experiences be the foundation of your life, and use social media as a supplement, not a substitute. As we navigate this digital age, it's crucial to remember that we hold the power. We have the ability to control our social media usage, ensuring it adds value to our lives rather than detracting from it. Remember, it's not about completely rejecting social media, but about using it wisely and responsibly. As we wrap up this journey into the past, let's ponder on the future. We've spent time exploring the last generation before social media, a generation that relied on face-to-face conversations and handwritten letters. But now, let's turn our gaze forward. What does the future hold for social media? More importantly, how can we contribute to shaping that future? Imagine a social media landscape that's not just about collecting likes or followers. Instead, picture a place where meaningful conversations take place, where ideas are exchanged, and where genuine human connections are formed. It's a future where social media platforms are used not to divide and discriminate, but to unite and understand. We all have a role to play in shaping this future. It starts with how we use these platforms. Are we adding to the noise, or are we contributing something of value? Are we using it to bring people down or to lift them up? Each post, each comment, each share, they all add up to the collective energy of the digital world. But while we ponder on the future of social media, let's not forget about the world outside our screens, the world that's filled with real people, real emotions, and real experiences. Remember, the value of a genuine smile, a hearty laugh, a comforting hug, these can never be replicated in the digital world. So make time for real-world connections. Seek balance between your digital life and your physical one. After all, life is not just about being online or offline, it's about being present in the moment, being present for the people around you, and being present for yourself. As we navigate this digital world, let's not forget the value of real-life experiences and connections. After all, the world was once without social media, and it was beautiful in its own way.